we have been tasked with the impossible. That being trying to determine who has had the greater career for the Pittsburgh Penguins, Mario Lemieux or Sidney Crosby. With Christmas just around the corner, why don't we give the fans a gift of who has had the better career? You first.
Me first. Oh, I was going to play off you, but I'm going with Sidney. I'm going with Sidney Crosby, and there's only one. You know what? Both of these players, like if there was one more Mount Rushmore, they'd both be in them. But and the reason I'm saying Sidney is just the consistency of what he's done over 21 years, over a point a game every year. Like, to me, is amazing. I used to think that I was a good minor league scorer, but to keep up the pace that he's done, to me, has been incredible. 3 Stanley Cups, a golden goal. I know both of these guys, it's like splitting hairs on their accomplishments, but I just think he's still going. To me, Sidney's the only player in hockey that I can see almost challenging Chris Chelios for how long he played. And it's that's why I think it's every year that Crosby's there, his name is in whether the team is good or whether the team is bad. I think it's Sidney Crosby.
So I get to go with Mario Lemieux. Okay, that sounds like a pretty easy task. So when we talk about Mario Lemieux, and I'm going to incorporate Wayne Gretzky into here. You talk about Crosby. Crosby broke Wayne Gretzky's record of most consecutive seasons averaging a point a game. I thought that was a record that never be broken. But Wayne Gretzky, he referred to Mario Lemieux as Mario, said he's the greatest player that ever played. He would have broke all my records if he was healthy during that period of time. So you're right, Bruce. We are splitting hairs. We're trying to figure out who has had the greater impact. Mario Lemieux, when he joined the Pittsburgh Penguins, we talk about being in the basement, and they were in dire straits. He lifted them from the ashes, lifted them to great heights, made everybody around them better. And then after that, he lifted the franchise again from the ashes. Yes, Sidney Crosby was part of it, but Mario Lemieux as an owner should go into the Hall of Fame as a builder. He's in there as a player. All the things that Mario did, the number of points that he did, and a lot less games played. His career was ended because of injury. Mario Lemieux has meant so much for this organization. And when I think about Sidney Crosby, you made the point to me, hey, we don't even know what Sidney's going to do off ice in his other career. But what Mario Lemieux has done for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and we define career for me on and off the ice, Mario Lemieux stands alone.
Well, I will say one more thing here. You said Wayne Gretzky said he was the best player he's ever seen. I know that was that era, but if you went and asked Alex Ovechkin, the best player he's ever played against, I guarantee he would say Sidney Crosby. So, I mean, it depends on who we're talking about when it's the great players. But like you said, both of these guys are so good at splitting hairs. And I tell you what, when Sidney's done, it wouldn't be a surprise to me that he is involved in something in hockey. I just don't see him sitting back and resting on his laurels and sitting on the couch eating potato chips like one of the guys that does here that's talking on TV right now. I think he's going to do something remarkable when he's done until he's finished.
Yeah, well, I think one of the huge things when we talk about Sidney Crosby is when he's finished. When will he be finished? Because there's no signs of decline in Sidney Crosby's game. You talk about Chris Chelios into his 40s. Nick Lidstrom won a Norris Trophy at 40. Sidney Crosby is still at the top of his game, and that is significant. Mario Lemieux came back. He was a mentor, so to speak, a little bit for Sidney Crosby. He led Canada to their first gold medal in over 50 years in 2002. Sidney Crosby led Canada on home ice, the golden goal. You said earlier, Bruce, it's like splitting hairs. How about this? Next time we do this, you get Mario, I get Sidney. Neither one of us is going to be wrong.
I agree with you. And you know what? I took it one step further, and I went back and looked at their junior careers. Could I add that? But I mean, when it comes to spectacular play, think about this. Crosby was averaging 2.5 points a game in juniors last year. Mario was averaging over 4 points a game, 280 plus points in junior, which is so totally out of the world. I can't even fathom it. But both of them are so good. We could do this all day long and find accomplishments that they've done and keep going. Because every time you stop, you think of one more that they did.
And there'll be more because of what Sidney Crosby continues to do. And just a fantastic argument. The importance, the significance of these two players in the Pittsburgh Penguins' lore, their history, and their present is simply magnifique.